Another beautiful morning. Spent the morning going into Tucson to pick up some metal. So I got some 20 gauge sheet metal and some 1.5" angle metal. I need to decide what I'm going to do about a brake. Got a friend lives about a mile from here. I need to swing by and see if he's okay with me using his brake, or if I'm going to go and buy some Harbor Freight piece of junk and then spend another day upgrading it so that it actually works well. There's a couple YouTube videos on there, 30-inch brake. Probably 20 gauge is going to be a little stiff for it, but there's a YouTube video that tells you how to update it and make it work. So let's get started and figure out what we're going to do here. So I need to make a patch for this side, so I always just mask it out with masking tape. So mark the corners, under, over, up the other side, because I need this piece on this side. So I'm using this one for a template. So all I'll do is take this off, stick it on that piece of sheet metal, and I'll have all my critical dimensions. All I have to do is work at it from the back, and it'll be the mirror image for the other side. So based on the other side, it's about 6 inches from here to the back edge of this. So it says I've got it cut right about there. Cut it right here. So if I set that up in there, measure out my 6 inches, about 3/8 of an inch long, 3/8 of an inch long here. So I'm going to cut it just a little bit more and just slowly sneak up on where I am here. And don't fret if you have to cut 2 or 3 times to make this work. Even the best end up having a practice piece usually. All right, it's just a little fat here. Just do a little bit more shaping. Got a little wide. Backside of it is perfect. All right, just a little bit more working with the hammer and that square rod. Squared it up pretty good. And I will have to say so myself. That fits really good. So the next thing here is the top. The drip rail's pretty bad in here too, so I think what I'm going to do is cut this out and just cut a flat piece to put in there. Weld that in. It'll come over, hit this, and I'll just run a weld from the top side here, weld that in instead of trying to make this compound curve. I think that's going to look pretty good. Now, this piece needs to get extended because this actually fits inside here. So let me get the cutter and I'll cut this out a little bit to where I want it to be and keep moving along. All right, got it cleaned up a little bit more. You can tell I live in the country. You can hear the cows mooing in the background. I got my welder out. Cut this out clean so I can put a square piece with a little lip bit. I'll show you later. I got this all lined up very nicely. Biggest thing is just make sure that you've got the same reveal along the back here. Right about there. Which says I probably need to grind this just a little bit more. Pretty nice right there. The way I'm going to start this, I'm going to put a tack right here on the back side. That way I'm still able to move it around just a little bit. Maybe a tack on the bottom and then spend a little time with a hammer and dolly trying to get it smoothed in just a little bit more. You want to get the joint as tight as you can because the metal will move. So I'm actually going to, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to tack it a couple places right here, square in the middle on the bottom. That way I can fold both sides and try to get it shaped into this other piece of metal, the original. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. That's why I like leaving this stuff here so I can actually align stuff up in 3D space. This would be impossible to figure out where all went if I hadn't left these pieces here. All right, that looks pretty good, I believe. Looks very good running along here. Looks very good running along where the drip rail goes into it. Pretty good up through here. So I'm very tempted to weld this all the way in right now, but I think that's going to be a mistake. So I want to cut my other pieces, get this piece here cut, tacked in, get my upper piece that's going to lay, that's going to be my extension to repair the drip rail here, get that cut, laid in and tacked so that I can make sure that it's all exactly where I want it. And then when I am ready, I can just go to town and get it tacked in. So I think that's where I'll go. Start thinking about how I'm going to cut these other pieces. All right, let's see where I am. I've got it mocked up pretty good there, at least for the inner panel. My gap's a little wider than I wanted on the extension over there for the visor, but I'll just have to make it work. So we can take a look and see what I did here. So this is the first piece that I bent over on the ground, very simple. I then bent another piece here. This one lays inside of this one. If you get down to the details, this is actually supposed to be flanged and stepped a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. My plan is to go over most of this with filler in here when I'm done anyway, to kind of dress it up a little nicer. So I'm not going to spend time worrying about little flanges like that. I think they'll be invisible to the eye anyway, unless you know they're there, you probably would never notice it. So then what I did is ran a piece of tape along this leftover piece here. Right, so that was good. That was still good metal here. And what I do is I run a piece of tape along it, and that's how I cut things and get good straight edge. You just can't beat a good piece of tape and then grinding your cutoff wheel following that piece of tape. It's just the most accurate way I've got to do this. So then I cut myself another piece that is along here, which mimics this piece right here. I'm going to weld it along here. I've already welded it in here. So this piece now is going to get welded onto this. This will be lapped. I'll probably drill a couple of holes here and kind of pretend to spot weld. I hate spot welding with a welder. Wish I had a real spot welder, but I don't. So I get this all tacked together so that it's nice and stiff. Then I can start hammering with a dolly to kind of smooth these out a little bit and get those channels flowed into each other so they look nice. And then I'll cut a piece to lay in here and get that tacked in, and then that piece will just fill this, and that'll bring this whole corner nice and stiff. So that's where I am. Hopefully this is making sense. I kind of gotten tired of just letting the thing run and watching me spend 2 hours doing nothing. This is a lot of just trial error fitting and trying to make it work. So I think I'm doing really good here. Once I get this corner stiffened up, I can start going through here and working on this, getting this dug out, cut out, and a couple patches put through here. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't run out of energy. I should have at least this corner done today, possibly this. I think that's probably pushing it. I think if I get this corner done and have this panel welded in tight and this whole corner stiffened up, it'll be a good day. I'll get to it.